Dear audience, welcome to this masterclass. My name is Henning Kraggerud. I'm one of the jury members. I'm from Norway, violinist, composer, and various other things. I'm teaching at Baratues Music Institute in Oslo, the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester. We will start this masterclass with Marley Eriksson, who will play Svensson's Romance together with Nikki Aima. So, Johan Svensson, Romance for violin and piano. makes me really, really happy to hear. I think you have a truly great future ahead of you. So beautiful playing on so many levels. It really touches my heart, and I'm very happy. I had already written comment when you played it in the competition, and I was already then mesmerized, and if anything, it's even better now.
Thank you.
So when you play like that, there is always a danger of sort of intellectualizing it and going into it.
Yeah.
So never sort of compromise with the way you express the feelings. But now we will consider, can there be things still we would consider to have more alternatives?
Yeah. Okay.
And how can we get there without destroying the beautiful things you already have?
Okay.
And I think one thing I truly believe is that you can never play better than you can think the music. So if you can think something better than you can play it, then you would maybe know what to do. I was very, very happy with all of that. So you could continue the rest of your life to play it pretty much like that, and I would like it every time.
Okay.
The first few lines, I have absolutely nothing to say.
Okay.
When the fast section starts, I wondered if you can consider more characters. So let's first hear it from the G minor.
The upbeat?
Yeah.
Okay, so if this was like MasterChef, have you watched that on television?
Maybe.
Or something,
Yeah,
things like that?
Yeah.
I would say let's now taste each of the ingredients in this dish and see if you can make it even a bit different dish. So let's now play it slow, or actually not even play it. Let's just hear Nikki play it.
Okay.
And just listen for the harmonies and see what kind of possibilities lies within these.
Okay.
So we must think it, yes?
No.
Without upbeat, just on.
Exactly.
Yes,
Or just the harmony.
yes, just for, yes, as written. Did you get any new ideas now?
I think so.
Let's hear that. Beautiful, beautiful. I could hear now even a greater sensitivity towards these harmonies.
Okay.
And I like that a lot. And I think once you add this into the equation, your subconscious will, start to work on it.
Okay.
And even that you stumble a little with the fingers proved that you were not playing safe, but you were investigating things. So, but still, let's now play it slow with harmonies.
Okay.
Without, I think, this is another question, is really the upbeat in the old or the new tempo? Have you ever considered, let me,
I see.
so, and then it says Pacorita Dando, so maybe the upbeat belongs to the old tempo, and then it can stop.
Okay.
I think that, and also the change of scoring, it starts with pizzicato in the cellos,
Right.
if you play it with orchestra.
Right. Okay.
Then. So let's try the 4 last bars. And also, again, it's dangerous when you have a teacher. Because if now I say, oh, that's so much better, but secretly inside you like the upbeat in the old tempo, you shouldn't do what I'm telling you. You should do what you like yourself best. But try it out now once. What did you think now?
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
I like that.
These great things going on. I think you are investigating it very nicely. How I think about this is that the opening is in daytime.
Okay.
So the same for last bars. So happy. And then the light starts to drop, and during this upbeat turning to minor, something happens, but it's still a secret, and then something. Maybe. Spooky almost, isn't it? That's modulation, and the bassoon enters there when it's with orchestra. So I think I sometimes by myself just do it. Because it's an unusual way to modulate. Try the two first bar again and again with me now.
Okay.
Again? Yeah, just the two bars, yes. Yes, so that you're aware of that. But then always the danger when you practice. You get a great idea, and then you decide to do it, and then something might be lost.
Yeah.
So to really, because it's a quite subtle effect. And I could hear after you started to listen to harmony, something happened. The first time you played, also the same happened in the modulation. First time you played the strong G.
Okay.
But then you started to change that, and I think somehow,
Right.
and even that, can we play that the C minor chords? Listen to the harmony here, and it should change, but listen to
Yeah.
this D.
Yeah.
It has a very special flavor.
Right.
I don't know what spice that would be in our dish, but at least to just have the exact right amount of it for you.
Yeah.
If you do too much, we become clever.
Yeah.
If we don't notice at all, we miss out on something.
Right.
Let's try also the four last bars now and the beginning one more time.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, this is new for you. Anyway, I saw that you wanted to try out that idea. I think if you want to do that, we don't want the shift because it
Right.
was. So then do it with the second finger
Okay.
and then change. And since then the tempo is not clear and it's a bit mysterioso, turn to Nicky or the cello pizzicato if you play it with orchestra, and you can be sort of visually together. Try it one more time. Great. I think this is going absolutely the right direction for these things. Put it in the equation and even try to investigate and find other ways. So it's not good to have one interpretation. If you have like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things, aspects you love about it, then you at the concert can pick the one which feels right just now.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that would be my... But let's now just do this little modulation. So let's do from the second phrase of the G.
Okay.
Good. I still think this modulation, which is so unusual, there is some possibilities there. So again, we will think it Nikki plays it and we think it, and see if inside yourself you can find a different way of doing with sound or anything. It's almost like, ooh, I get scared. Let's hear. Yes, I think for me this was more exciting. Shall we try to be even a bit more courageous?
Yeah.
So I would, if you try, sorry, try,
Okay.
do a little something. You understand what I mean? Yes, this is absolutely, I think, getting there. I like to practice in many ways. I think mostly violinists tend to practice too much with the violin and too little with the mind.
Right.
And I practice dancing, I practice singing, conducting myself. Let's see if you now can you try to be like an inspirator for me when I play that?
Okay.
And you will show me whatever you found when you listen to the harmonies.
Okay.
So I will be your orchestra, and you are my sort of conductor, inspirator. Don't play.
Okay.
Same place? I didn't completely see.
Yeah.
Do you know, I mean, as I told you before, it's impossible to play better than you think. Let's hear it with neither of us playing. Again, and see if you can find your way for this. Yes, let's hear. Oh, that's really, that was not what I demonstrated. I like it a lot. I never heard it like that. That come from you. So, anyway, and when you know if the answer is right, actually you will know very easily. But when we do not sort of practice the mind, we might practice other aesthetics and, you know, achieving what we have decided to do in advance, but we might miss out on a lot of things. So I think the best way to not destroying what you have is to find things which you love even more, and then your whole system will try to achieve that. And there is nothing dangerous about that. The danger is to adapt, say, if you were to think that me doing the glissando, this is how it needed to be done, and you practiced like that, but you just found a wonderful way I've never heard in my entire life. Which was exciting. Maybe I will steal that from you and try it out. If it's okay? Yes. So we will try another place where I think there is some benefits. Towards the end. Can we play from, that was, by the way, beautiful double stops. I do that sometimes myself. I love when people add things which is not in the score. She added a couple of extra notes, and sometimes I've added the same. He later orchestrated it, and then he adds the extra notes. So if you like, you can play a F sharp as the third beat. And I think it's better. Have you heard it or played it with orchestra?
Not yet.
So just where you started to play, do you know, You have never seen the score or anything?
Not the score. I've heard it with
Yes,
stuff,
but
yeah.
you start then with the woodwinds playing.
Right.
And you know, oboes, bassoon, clarinets, playing chords. So let's now imagine those when Nikki play. And same place now, but without us. And now there is all the woodwinds playing. And now the strings enter alone. And even if you play it with piano, I think this can be quite
Yeah.
good too. So let's try now with that in mind. Same place? Yes, beautiful. I certainly hear that you colored it a bit differently now, but still not dramatically different.
Yeah.
If I were to sort of be very honest, it sounded 90% music and 10% violin.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. I suddenly noticed, you know, vibrato. Whenever I noticed stylistic things, it sort of takes me out of the music.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you play Baroque music stylistically correct, but if I end up listening to the style rather than the content of the music,
Yeah.
I think that's,
Yeah.
it would be great not to start to think about your vibrato.
Right.
So let me play it one time. Yes. You don't need to play it like that. But now, let's say you're not allowed to play it like I played it. You're not allowed to play it like you self-played it.
Yeah.
Try now to really be super courage and do something you have never done before.
Okay.
Beautiful, really, really nice. Actually, normally you would just end like this, but since I really want all of us to to remember this session of listening, let's end it once without any violin, just Nikki. And we hear the same, and all of us, let's see, can we hear this with the violin sound more beautiful than we have ever heard? Just because it's only in our minds. Did you hear anything special this last time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, good. So this, always remember, if you don't know what to practice, try to find it. The answer is always within yourself. It cannot be anywhere else. You can get inspiration, though, from various teachers, various artists, but unless it resonates within yourself, it's not of value to you.
Right.
But actually, I got inspired by your playing, so next time I play Svenserman, my subconscious will maybe work with a few of those things as well, and who knows what it ends up with. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. So while we are waiting for yes? Come. You are Helen? How do you pronounce your name, Helen? Helen Hyn? Yes. Hyn? Yes. Yes?
So
Great.
we've only just met, we haven't played
Yes.
together.
Yes. So our next masterclass student, Helen Hyn, is that right pronunciation, or more or less? And she will play Beethoven Sonata number 1.
8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, that was not in our list.
Yeah, I don't have the music with me.
Then we do it like this. Beethoven Sonata number 8. And this will be the very first time they play this together.
And I haven't played it for a while.
Well, are you sporty enough to do it?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
Okay, so Nikki is really sporty. She hasn't played it for quite a time. And I brought also a score for Beethoven Sonata number 1, so I will look a little bit over the... I will turn pages for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So I will be like this. great. What a marvelous first run through together of this. You are so good, both of you. Really great. And let's see now. My papers here. When you played for me earlier, I also liked your Bach sonatas really, really well. I always make a lot of notes. And I think you had a great sense of warmth in the Dvorak pieces. So I already knew I was going to like it. Now, with the classical, you show that you also master the classics, like relatively early Beethoven. So I think you are really a marvelous violinist and musician. Very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I could really listen to the music. I listened to Beethoven, and I like this piece a lot. If you were to describe how was it to play Beethoven just now, was it as you wish, or is there something you would like different already yourself? Difficult question?
Yes.
Yes. But I think all of us, always when we have played, we shall think, is this how I would like it to play? Or like to play it, or even like to feel it? Because you always get better at what you practice. But to know what to practice, you can also start to identify what you need to practice. So if it sounds fantastic, but it doesn't feel good, then you must practice differently to feel good. So it must be part of the practice. I remember, since we are speaking about Beethoven Violin Concerto, I will tell you that when I learned the Beethoven Violin Concerto many, many years ago, it was my favorite piece of music. But after practicing it for half a year, I then knew it in tune and with good phrasings and fingerings and a lot. And not only did I hate Beethoven Violin Concerto, I also hated myself, I found out. And I had practiced it. Because along with the practice, you always give yourself any messages and think, oh, that was not good enough, that was not. And after that, I started to practice trying to do only positive thinking. So I was thinking, now we will investigate, can we find something in the score which we want differently? And can we also find a way to feel even better? So is there characters and emotions in this piece we can discover which will make it more fun to be alive? Do you think so? Maybe?
Yes.
But I don't know what's right for you. But I think we should, set our standards really high in that we would like Beethoven, we would like to make the world a better place. We would like to conquer all the difficulties. And Beethoven said, one of the last things he said in his life is that he was happy that he had brought some sunshine to earth. So he had a quite good feeling about himself. But still, there is, when you played, I was happy, and I think you have the drama, you have the elegance, you have a lot of things. I would wish maybe even more humor. Is there some places here you can think can be more fun? If you look in the score. Maybe, can we try something like this?
Yes.
Or when you play this kind of these
Yes.
triplets up and down. So let's now try maybe from this upbeat. Good. Now, I would like to try something. Do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters, or no? Do you know any small children? So can you imagine that you're playing with them, and they are, not particularly listening, and some of them are trying to make fun of you and, being a little bit. Can you now try to keep them entertained with that section? Same place. think already better, but let's now. Can you just play that figure? I would like it to sort of tickle in the stomach. You understand? Like when you are, have you been in an amusement park? Like, it's, yes, let's see if you can get. Yes, as one gesture. Yeah, see well. Yes, sometimes I like them to, it's already better, but let's now try just the bow and not even the right strings, but do. Yes, yeah, with me. Can you make that as one gesture? And. Can you now look for ways to be as happy and feel as good as possible? Like lum, ta 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 ta, and nice. Let's now try with the notes. It's better, but what often happens, because the left hand is really a terrorist, it wants to control everything. So I've found a great way to practice things like this, because humans, we cannot be two different characters at the same time. So if you now really would let your right hand inspire your left hand, instead of the left hand stopping your right hand. Understand what I mean? Because when we played, it was perfect, but once we started to concentrate about this started to interfere with that. So again, open strings. And nice, and yes. Now we must be brave, because we have never done that. If it's not coordinated, doesn't matter, but I really want you now to just go for the feeling of the right hand. Don't compromise with that whatsoever, whatever happens. We keep that with the fingerings now. Again. And again. And again. Are you more happy now? Yes, good. So this is what I would like you to do in every bar. Find ways to be testing out characters you think might fit, and ways of actually enjoying it more. It should be fun. It should be fantastic the whole time. Can you agree with that? So let's try now the same place. And now, the bravery. I already know when you played through, you played it perfect. Really, really beautiful. Fantastic. I don't need to hear that again, but I want you to be really, really brave and see if you can now have your mission to have truly a great time and fun and take chances. Okay, maybe with up it. Yes, at the end, maybe something else can happen. Maybe he gets a bit more dramatic, I don't know. So you can do something else. Now let's work with some details, because not everything is funny here. Let's have a different emotion. What do you think could be the character for that bar, if you were to describe it with any words? It's not happy. It's something else for just that bar. Is it sad, expressive? What do you think? Expressive? Yeah, so let's see if the first one can be, as you did it, and then more expressive, the way you said, and then see if we can nuance in between. So we have many different characters, but remember to have fun when it's fun. Okay, again. Yes, good. Now I think I agree about that being expressive, but maybe it needs to be expressive even a little bit before the notes running into it. Try, if you like that. Good, this is getting there. Now, as we did earlier with the Svensson Romance, let's think the same place. Okay? Just before we have fun, somebody is making fun of us, I think, there. Okay? Great. So this section now, how does it feel to play it compared with when you played it through earlier?
More funny.
Yeah, and more thing happens.
Yeah.
So I really like that. So I think you should try to find your own story for the whole sonata. Try to find out what happens. Is it small children? Is there some animals coming in? What do you think? And then see if that can inspire you. And then when you play, demand of yourself, not that it should be in tune or coordinated, because if you try that, we will often limit ourselves to that. But demand of yourself that it should be an exciting story you like to tell again and again and find more and more nuances and make it even more fun. So in the end, you cannot resist but to play it once more because you love it. Understand?
Yes.
And this actually needs to be practiced. But often we think that we need to do practicing when playing. But when I practice, I sit down by the score at the piano and I look at the chords and I think, what kind of story could be possible for me to tell within this? Because it's not even one possibility. It's like Beethoven has made a game you can tell different stories with.
Yes.
It's not one solution. Do you agree about that?
Yes.
Let's see. I think we have some more time. Yes, we have 9 more minutes. Let's find another. Is there some place you feel you don't enjoy? Maybe we can do maybe from this again. Maybe from here. Quite much humor. It doesn't seem very serious also, this music. It's not that serious. So let's try out something. Try it again now, but instead of thinking the entrances downwards, which it seems like now, I don't know if you think it, but instead of T, da, 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 da. It says sfacciato, so you do that, but can you think that those sfacciatos are something you sort of grab? Understand? So almost take a step ahead, and if you get the right feeling for that, then see what happens after that. Have these 2, 3, 4 times, and then finally you join Nikki and you do it together. Maybe then you can do it something boisterous, a little bit more different. Let's do the same place again and think it. Don't play. Don't play? Sorry, don't play. So take the violin down and see if we... It's like Santa Claus suddenly entered. Great. Let's hear it. Good, good. This is getting better and better, I think. Really, really nice. Now, the danger now, if you follow this, and you think it needs to be like that.
Okay.
But that's only one of the games possible within this score. So let's, audience, now we tried out this, physical dance. Anybody have any other ideas? How can this be done? Do you want to give us a clue word? Nikki, you have any? So I really believe in creating sort of
Maybe mocking, could be mocking.
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 Yes. I was already doing a little bit of that, but what exactly does mocking mean? Just
Sort of slightly teasing.
Oh, yeah, be even more teaseful then. Can you be like, I don't know, is there any nasty girls at school who are, who are not behaving nice? Or are everybody at your school fantastic all the time? That would be the first time I hear about that. So somebody is mocking and teasing and up to no good. Let's hear it that way. Let's find it, and sometimes you can try out characters which are not at all fitting, and that can also help you. Let's hear it sleepy. Can you play it very sleepy? Was there, most of that I didn't like in that character, but was there maybe something about the falling down gesture a few times down, or could be even possible. So sometimes, can you now do it like you have just drank 3 Coca-Colas with lots of sugar and you're like feeling so super excited? Yes? Yeah. Play it as you have a great secret. You are bursting, you just want to tell it, but you're not allowed. And it's like, oh, you want to tell this secret, but you cannot. And you're really happy because it's a fantastic secret. Something wonderful is about to happen. You're full of expectations. Enjoy that one. Did you like to play it like that? Audience, do we have any more possibilities? Different characters we want to exaggerate. But then in the very end, I think when something is one-dimensional, it's not as good as when it's three-dimensional. So at the end now, see if you can both be a little bit excited, maybe even sleepy a couple of times, full of expectations, and a little bit teasing, mocking. And if that changes subtle between those, you will create a very, very interesting story. So you can pick from all of these and other things and see how exciting story can you tell with all the elements we have now tried out. Same place. I think I really like what's happening here. So now my advice to you would be to demand of yourself that every hour you practice shall be interesting, fun, and bring you somewhere new. And if you sit down by the piano, see what new things you can find, and see how can I be myself within this score and explore all the gifts Beethoven have given us. Okay. Is that a good plan? Yes, thank you then. And thank you, Nikki. Yes, exactly. Yes. Hello.
Sorry.
So audience, our next participant, I hope I say your name right, Takumi Taguchi.
Yes.
Is it close enough? Or?
That's right.
Yes. And you will play, from my list at least, Sonata number 3 in C major, Largo and Allegro assai. Yes, great.
Would you like my music? Or?
We can just have it here. And since we have only half an hour, I might stop you and not play the whole thing. Actually, let's take it from the piano. let's work with that. Thank you. So I remember you when you played in the competition. You played a fantastic Mozart 4 concerto, and I particularly liked your cadenza. It was very interesting, and it almost gave me some notions of Isaïe and some advanced. Did you have fun composing that?
I did actually.
Yes, I could tell that you seemed to have fun while playing that. I was now wondering, when you have practiced Bach, how do you usually practice this?
As in, like...
No, I mean, I was just wondering, I mean, do you practice it always, all the notes, like it's written?
A lot of the time I actually try to isolate the, I think the melodic lines with the kind of the harmonic Bach.
Yes,
things.
great. So I think let's do a little bit of that. Is your music here?
Yes.
So since we then need to pick two different parts, let's put the music on. And were you here when I were teaching just before?
A little bit for that.
Yes. So I think also sometimes, and my suspicion would be that the focus on the left hand, which is really difficult, doesn't help your right hand. So I would like us to maybe focus a little bit differently. Yes. Now, so play without needing now to play all of the notes. Play just the melody, and I will play the bass line, but longer than it's written. So. And try now to play everything just in the first position. I already hear sort of even freer Bach now. Play again the same way, and now think, if this was a cantata by Bach or orchestrated, which instruments do you think should do this? Is it violins, oboes? There's no right and wrong answer here, but do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So again, just the melody. Do you like the music better like that than when we play all of it?
It is easier.
It is easier. So, but how shall we get this easiness into the playing? Because once we start to think intonation and difficult stops, somehow the beauty of it get a bit lost. It's still a bit of it there, but I like it better this way. You like it better this way. I didn't tell you how to play now, so everything comes from you. It's already in there. So now let's then try. Can you now just play the melody one more time and remember how you feel in the right hand? Play it one more time, just the melody. So now the trick is, I don't care how it sounds now. Don't focus on that, but focus on the feeling you had, how it felt in the right hand, how the music moved along, and even if it then sounds out of tune and not coordinated or something, you're still one step closer to getting where you would like to go if you don't give up that. So try now with all the notes. That is so much better than when you played it. Really great. I'm very, very happy. There are a few places where I think maybe also we need more nuances. So maybe now, if you think about the harmony, can you now just think the melody, and I play only a few notes? And it moves down to sort of D minor. We move to the subdominant. These kind of things. And when you now play all of the notes, can we see if we move from the tonica through the different chords, through D minor, and reaching the subdominant, if that can be more of one journey for you? See if you like it. Yes? I think things start to happen. I have a feeling sometimes we are stopping something in the body. It doesn't feel completely free. Understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you were now to allow yourself to move a little bit, let's play it together and see if we can sort of create a three-dimensional path of this. But now, I really literally want you to move around and see if you can feel the different chords, traveled to them. And be on the way. And if this were a cantata, now maybe the choir start to sing. Okay, I still have the feeling a little bit that we limit ourselves. I don't say that in the concert you need to walk around miles and miles, but if you do it when you practice, maybe you can get that freedom. So let's really try use the whole space here, okay? Try something new. Travel to the next chord. travel to subdominant. Use the bow. Yes. How does that feel? Unusual?
It does feel comfortable.
Yeah, because something happens. Suddenly your shoulders are a little bit freer, and something even happened with the sound, I think, very positive. Actually, take now down the violin, and let's just feel the music, okay? I will hum it out of tune probably, but see if you can now, can you make your body alone do this movement? Okay? I mean, literally, try. Yes, try. It's nobody watching. Okay? Okay, again. Actually, since we are speaking about it, it's a relatively new phenomenon that audience are sitting still. They used to move a little bit. So maybe we can have a little bit exercise. Why don't all of you stand up, and we will see if you can feel this spot together. Okay, then let's play, and we get help from the audience. And now the choir start to sing. Thank you. Isn't it much easier to play the violin when we get help from the audience? Actually, in other fields of music, pop and jazz, and people are not sitting still even today. So it's a pity that we started to make these rules in concert music life, I think, that everything needs to be, you know, not applaud between the movements. That was highly unusual. At Beethoven's time, it would mean they didn't like the first movement if they didn't applaud. So there is, but anyway, anything is in your mind. When you were moving around and when they started to sing, didn't it feel easier to play a violin?
It's more comfortable.
Yes, and if you next time you stand in the audition playing this piece or whatever, recreate that within yourself. You can create the same atmosphere. You can stand still as if you were moving around. Your inner ear can hear this choir and it can inspire you. So instead of being something the left-hand terrorists terrorize your right hand with, it can be part of this big experience for you, which power you. I think all the right answers are within yourself already. Because when we play just separate parts, I haven't given you no instruction and you seem very musical. But now it's about letting go of whatever you imprison yourself with. And it can be traditions, can be what your teacher tells you, can be what you think other people think you should do, can be all kinds of things. But go for that, the feeling. It's one of the most wonderful movements ever written. And it can create a great joy for you every time. And I think then if you now start to practice differently, using the components of this which is already within yourself, I think you can achieve it very quickly. These kind of things doesn't take so long time. The most difficult is to start behaving differently. This is also one thing I strongly believe, that whatever have brought us to the stage where we are now in life can also be said is the same thing which prevent us from getting where we really want to go. Because if you want a different result than you're getting today, you need to do something different. Bring something new into the equation, or use the elements in a different way at least. So practice is anything which will bring you wherever you think is a better place. So if you want to feel comfortable and free and inspired, that must be the essence of your practicing. If your practicing is about something else, like intonation or things like that, we need to retranslate it. So, for instance, for myself, I think I seek the pleasure of a third in tune, and that's a physical sensation which feels nice. So I want to experience that again. I never put arrows up and down in my music. This note is too high, this is too low, this kind of thinking, because it narrows. If you want to feel free, you must feel free when you practice also. You always get better at what you practice. But many times, it's hard to know what you really practice along with what you think you practice. So this is bringing the whole experience into it. Let's see, we still have 5 more minutes. Let's do the opening of the last movement. Many nice things. Nikki, are you here? Yeah, she went out, okay. So, but anyway, I was thinking here, maybe harmonies can also help us. So, tonica and dominant, you are familiar with the naming. Dominant got its name because it dominates over the tonica. It's more important. So when you started, it sounded the same. Now, see if the dominant can be more important for you. Yeah. Still, I think it feels too much the same. I would wish that you experience a gesture on the dominant there. Are you willing to try it? Yes, from beginning, yes. Yes, and then think how can we get to that? So I think if you are too strict here, together with me. Yes, we just wanted some inspirational help for the chords here. Yes, no problem. So, if you are able to just extract some harmonies from this, can you do that? C major, D major. I quite often sit by the piano imagining how to play Bach. Okay? So let's actually start 2 bars without playing, and then you come in. And you stop. If we go very slowly here, it's very small music. Where is it? After this, we are just back to tonica. And then something more important happening with the harmonies. Can you play this alone slowly? Yes, good. Now, I like that shape much better. Before you went really, for the tonica with the big accents. This seems more natural. I saw that you have an edition where somebody have put forte and some things in it, but don't think too much about it. Again from. Maybe if you look at the different, can you do it again from this place? So this chord is more important than the resolution. So don't put an accent on. You understand what I mean? So try again the same section. Yes. Yes. And this is more important than. Yes, good. Exactly this way of thinking. And I think I would like you to sit down by the piano and do that. And then next time you will know. Because if every bar is equally important, there is a sort of static tension in that. But if you then, you can feel this is more important, this is more important, then it can give you a pattern for how your body can play the notes much better. Because I think too much even tension is what maybe is the difficulty in this movement. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you a lot. And thank you for helping. Yes. Yes. Yes, so we have Ellie playing Mozart. Troy?
Yeah.
Yes. So Ellie Troy, Mozart Concerto number 4, first movement. Right before.
Sorry,
Right before, yes. And I will stop you somewhere in the middle of the movement.
You will?
Yeah, so we have more time
Yeah.
to practice. Thank you. I already, of course, heard you played excellent playing. You're really, really great violinist, and the violin sounds fantastic in both the different halls. Very, very good. And I just wanted now to give us more time to work with this. I think, I mean, sounds perfect, intonation is so good, and there are many characters in the playing, but I think we can maybe go even further with that. Something, how does it feel to play it? good, and can we get even more of that sort of out? So one thing is if it stays within the head, but it needs to sort of pass through. So sometimes it helps even just to think that the instrument is not a violin. This is the one which starts the sound, but the real instrument is the whole.
Okay.
And then to sort of feel part of it. And the other thing is to maybe exchange more ideas together with the orchestra.
Okay.
And then the last thing I would like to talk about is also the harmonic content of the music. So I would like to point out a few things. Maybe if we can start where we ended. Yes. So from this section, this is, you know, repeating the same again and again. Yeah. And this is then a danger that it can feel, okay, 4 times the same material, what can we do about it? So it starts with a B minor chord, but not all of your notes are B minor.
The G.
Can you just play now slowly from there? Yeah, which notes are not part of G major?
C.
The B minor. Yes, the C sharp, yes. It's like a dissonant. And the A. Yes. I noticed when you played. But I think here it's something I would call a harmonic syncopation that it puts in the dissonant. On the second beat. And that can be something you can make use of. Then in the next bar, this B minor goes to what key?
Here.
Yes, yes. And can you then play from here again? Yeah, yes, with all the notes. Yeah. Yes, and if you see, so it's B minor with a going to, but then you have the dominant like a B major on every 8 notes. So if you follow the harmonic syncopation, it will be pa, 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 because it puts in dominance in between there. So instead of thinking, think. So try the same section now and feel these notes and harmonies. Yes. I still think you can show maybe, let me try. Yes, let's try that you actually just play a few notes. Can you play just like that? And I play all the notes. Yes, and now you can play the first note. Pom, 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 pom. And see how the possibility that I can change the character even more. That the first one, there is some pain in that. And this is different. Okay. Yes, so we are breaking it down to the components before we build it back again. Now can you try again? And then, and try to really feel the difference between them. Only those. Yes. So those four, they are siblings. Not the same. They are related. So when we now play all the notes, can you experience really the difference? Play all the notes now. Yes, and when you play now, does that whole section feel less like just things repeated and more rich? So this is what I mean. Everything is here in the score, but we have investigated and found other things. Now for the next section, which is so many times. Let me, together with Nikki, just play the accompaniment. It's really exciting accompaniment. What ratatata. Maybe we can be even more adventurous. Do you notice anything when you just hear it like that?
Yeah,
Yes, the shape of it and
less just notes and more just line.
yes.
Yeah.
And also that every second of the chord gets resoluted to every second. So I would like to hear that. So I would like to hear when the chord is and then resolute. I don't want a big accent on the resolution. So let's do again just the bar before and then with all the notes. Yes, good, something like that. At the end, of course, we can do different things. Now, I think you experience the harmonies better. But now, the rhythm of the orchestra is the way you played, we could have played. But it's such a special rhythm. It has something, it's something you want to dance. Is it possible for you to catch that so it feels natural for the orchestra, not to play like metronomes, not super even, but have the bar before? Last one after you can go and then do a crescendo. It's many ways to do it. Now you do everything I ask you of, and now I would like it to mean more. do you understand? Yeah. Like a mantra, we say it again and again to make it increase in value. I would like you to not be able to stand completely still because you're so filled with that. So one time now, do not play. So we play from, we think from there, and the two of us play, and see if you now can dramatize it, walk a little bit around, be an actor in this opera by Mozart, and experience the different characters. What happens? Yes, exactly. But maybe here again we can get help from the audience again. So the drama of this, there is something exciting going on, and the count of whatever has a scheme with the housemaid of whatever. Can we create an atmosphere of this opera? Don't play yet, but let's get help. Sing or hum or dance or whatever you like. 1 and 2. Yes, yeah, you spotted it. Aye, it's a scandal. Yes. Okay, now let's play that. Great. It's so much better already. And when something gets much better, don't stop. I think there is even more. You can dramatize it even more. You can go further with this. One more time. Try to move around the stage. Be an actor, singer. Yes, but anyway. Good, good. I truly believe if we dramatize and make this stronger within ourselves, then next time you are on stage actually playing it, you will have that, and you can either sort of stop it by doing the proper thing, or sometimes you actually want to try that out in concert. Really do something shocking. Let's see if you can find some other places also. Now, the very beginning, do you know how the orchestra starts this concerto?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, and it's forte and with horns, oboes, tutti, everybody playing unisono, no chords. But you know the scoring when you enter.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, how does it? Wait. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, that's fine.
Da, da, da,
Yes,
da,
and who
da,
plays?
bum,
You remember?
bum. Wins?
No,
No,
it's
it's string.
only first and second violin. Not
Oh, really?
Not, yes, and they don't have piano.
Okay.
So I was thinking when you started this, you started like the whole orchestra starts it.
Okay, sorry.
But I think Mozart is already making fun of us. So if you have this like military in the opening, you know, proud they're walking past the military. Behind those military, there are some boys,
Okay.
you know, who wants to be military and, you know, but they are, you know, misbehaved and up to prankster and something, and they're doing a little. It's something completely different. So I don't think we should mimic. So play a few bars of the very opening, please. And now, right before she enters, and now we are three small boys. Yes. And do you have any brothers?
No.
You know any small children?
No.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you do so. So, if you spoke with my brother who was here early in the festival, he
Okay.
will tell you how terrible I was when I was 5, 6 years old. I was
Okay.
absolutely not very nice boy.
I see.
So, you know, can you be really,
Mischievous?
yeah, mischievous? That's the word I was searching for. So instead of, so the whole thing again. Let's. Yes, good. Something like that. This is, it doesn't need to be exactly that, but I think your sort of stately forte opening doesn't really fit with the accompaniment.
I see.
So I think if you fancy these small boys or something else, let's see if we can find another character. If it weren't to be big military or boys doing pranks, what should it be then? could be a lot of different things in piano. Doesn't need to be
Yeah, that's true. It could be girls.
girls. Yes. How about elegant girls even? Or
Yeah, just like getting ready for something.
yes, I want to hear that. I've never heard that. So let's hear. I like that idea, and you already play better. But since I like the idea so well, after when you do, can you imagine that you have like this big dress and you, you know,
Yeah.
dance even a little bit more, maybe?
Okay.
And we need to invent something after that. What should we do for this? It needs to fit the sort of concept of something.
Yeah, I know. Maybe like they're in a palace. So
Yes.
these are like, we're talking about like elegant girls, like
Yes?
high class.
Yes?
So then, but like back then,
Yes?
so like they have all their dresses, right?
Yes.
And then they're like coming down the stairs. I mean,
Yes?
maybe. I don't know. Like, you know, like big golden.
But
like,
this
spiral.
something happens. Maybe there are some confetti or something in the air.
something,
don't
or
know.
maybe like, I don't know. Maybe
Huh?
they're just like. Maybe they spotted a boy.
Yes, okay. Let's
Yeah.
hear that version. Okay, so just
Yeah.
and dance now. That's beautiful. You know, you play so much better now.
Thank you.
It's really, really good.
Thanks.
Full of joy. I think this you should create the rest of the story about this. We have time for some more. Yeah, let's go on actually. Tarum, tarum. Okay, this is also much better than just before. Still, I think once you created a story for the beginning with the girls and all, that was even better. So we need to do, I think with Mozart, he changes the characters so often. So if we as player don't, it seems something is missing. So I was thinking you already from here, it should enter something not exactly the same, because if it sounded sort of too beautiful but not interesting enough.
Okay.
And then it changes again. And maybe you can do ping pong a little between your orchestra, even have more fun with that.
Okay.
And after that, this is a rather special theme coming, isn't it? Which direction do you want that?
Maybe now, like, you know, men.
Yes, yes. And
No,
no, but like, you know, with
oh yeah, with some
fencing
yeah.
and going on, I'm
Probably.
proud, and maybe say from the French army with some feathers in the
Okay,
hats
their
and
hats.
yeah. But anyway, whatever you did, I had the feeling it was like 20% of what it needed to be.
Okay.
So I think you need to up the game quite a bit more. Let's do the same. Yes, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yes. Good. Going the right way. Maybe even, Nikki, what the entrance with this, what do you call this, daggers.
Yeah.
Ra-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Can you do something which makes it impossible to not go even further? Can you also try in the first position? Maybe we don't need too much to happen because it takes away from that in a way. Yes, good. It's much more than it was, but still, I think we need to piff it up with something.
Okay.
You're too good violinist, that's the problem.
Sorry.
Everything sounds so good.
No.
But in a way, here, do some untraditional. I want to be surprised a little bit by something. Same place. Yes, good. This was so much better. Great. Just where we are here now, I don't think it sounds a bit too much etude. Try to take out the dominant here. Yes, yes, yes. Right on that. 1 and 2 and. Yes. It's not enormously needed, but it needs to sparkle somehow. If it gets too plain, it sounds etude, but. And. Yeah, and again, those French army guys from they enter again. And there, maybe here, my suggestion would be there are somebody already doing some gossips about those military and the girls from earlier. Have you heard? So, same place? Yes, I think in a case like that, we don't need much accent. But it's more about the color. Yes, nice. And yes, yeah. And again, this dominance. Yeah, you can be actually playing with the audience. Have some fun. Yes. Yes, and the last one maybe not super even, but Yes, great. Unfortunately, we are out of time already, but I really like what I'm hearing now. Excellent. Yes. Thanks to Nikki and Ellie. You have been a marvelous audience for this masterclass. We had, I mean, if I had a masterclass audience like that every time, I would only be doing masterclasses. I'm very, very happy. So, those of you who are violinists or musicians, think about any of you, what you heard now, you want to try out. You want a new result, you need to do something different.
It's brilliant. It's really wonderful.